Hello everyone, and welcome back to the lab. Our activity today, we are going to measure the rate of chemical reactions, and the intent here is to see how the concentration and the temperature affect the rate of a reaction. And our chemical reaction today is going to be the decomposition of bleach. We're going to have a cobalt catalyst on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to perform 5 different chemical reactions. Well, the same chemical reaction in 5 different conditions. And I will demonstrate the production of oxygen gas from the decomposition of bleach using 2% bleach at 25 degrees. So then what we're going to do is we're going to see how the temperature affects the rate of a chemical reaction by increasing the temperature of the bleach and the cobalt nitrate solution, the catalyst. We're going to increase the temperature by 10 degrees of those, perform the same chemical reaction, and we will decrease the temperature by 10 degrees. And then subsequently, we will also perform the reaction at 25 degrees using 1% bleach and 4% bleach. And so our trial 1 essentially is going to be our baseline for this reaction. So the decomposition is going to follow these 2 steps outlined in your lab introduction. So let's do it. So we're going to take a glass collection tube, fill it with water. We're going to invert that in a trough that has about 2/3 full of water. And we're going to secure that. We're going to lift it off of the bottom of the trough slightly, because we're going to perform the chemical reaction in a small Erlenmeyer flask. And we've attached a rubber hose to the lid, to the stopper. And we're going to snake this inside the gas collection tube. And now we're ready to perform the chemical reaction. We have our 2 pre-measured quantities. So we have 20 milliliters of the 2% bleach. This is at room temperature, about 25 degrees Celsius. We have our 5 milliliters of cobalt nitrate, which will produce the catalyst for this reaction. And as soon as we put the cobalt nitrate into the bleach, we're going to put the stopper on this and collect the gas in the gas collection tube. We will measure the volume of the gas every 15 seconds until the tube has filled up completely with gas, so all the way to the 50 milliliter line. And we make sure that we have a continuous swirling motion, and we keep the swirling motion as constant as possible. 15 seconds. So every 15 seconds, we're going to note the volume of the gas produced. And the swirling motion, continuous, consistent. might miss a reading here. $37. Again, this is 2% bleach at 25 degrees Celsius, and this is to establish our baseline. And we're going to use that information to determine how the rate is affected by temperature and by concentration. Here we are, 50 milliliters, sorry. So we're going to enter these values on our data table. For the first column, volume of oxygen from 2% bleach at 25 degrees. We're going to repeat this experiment with our bleach and cobalt nitrate at about 35 degrees, at 15 degrees, and then we will also do a 1% bleach solution and a 4% bleach solution at 25 degrees. Let's go collect the rest of our data and graph this. Now that we have collected all of our information, we have performed all of our chemical reactions, what we're going to do is we're going to use Excel to make a graph. Actually, two graphs. One graph will show the effect of concentration, and one graph will show the effect of temperature. So what we're going to do is open up a blank book in Excel, and we're going to just copy down all of the information that we collected in the lab. So our first column is going to be time in minutes. Then we have the 2% bleach at 25 degrees, at 35 degrees, at 15 degrees. Then we have a column for the 1% bleach at 25 and a 4% bleach at 25. So this first graph is going to be the effect of concentration. So we need column A, our time. We need B, this is our reference point, 2% at 25. Then we're going to pick up column C, which was 1%, and F, 4%. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy these columns into a new book. So we'll pick up columns 1 and 2, A and B, sorry. We're going to copy this, and we're going to go onto a new sheet, and we're going to highlight A and B, and we're going to paste. Going back to the original, we're going to copy column E and F, and we're going to paste those next here in the column C and D. Okay. To make the graph is very, very simple. We're going to highlight, select all of our data. So you click and drag, right? We're going to choose in the menu up here, we're going to choose Insert, and we're going to insert a scatter graph, this one right here. Clicking that little pull down menu, we're going to pick this scatter graph with a smooth line. And here's our graph. Now we're going to click this little plus sign over here to add axis title. We're going to give our graph a proper title and label each axis with their units. So the graph is the effect of concentration on the rate of decomposition of bleach. Our axes are labeled, the volume of oxygen in milliliters, including the unit, and the time in minutes. Now what we need to do is to have Excel give us the slope of each of these lines, because the slope being the rise over run, right? The slope of the graph here is going to be the volume of oxygen per minute, which is the rate of the reaction. So to do the slope, all we need to do is to take one of those dots on the graph, and you're going to right click, and then on the pop-up menu you add a trend line, and on the trend line menu that comes up on the screen, you're going to go display equation. And now Excel has displayed the equation on the graph. 55.2 is the value of the slope for this line. So it tells us that when they concentrate at 4% concentration, the rate of the reaction was 55.2 milliliters of oxygen per minute. We can compare that with the 2% bleach. So we're going to right click on that, on a dot. We're going to add the trend line, and again we're going to display the equation. And now we have 25. So the 2% bleach, the rate of the decomposition reaction is 25 milliliters of oxygen per minute. Going down to the 1% bleach, again add a trend line, display the equation. Move this a little bit so we can see it. 4.59. So from our experiment, we can see that our reference reaction, the 2% bleach, was 25 milliliters per minute. When you double the concentration, the rate increases to 55, which is close to doubling, which is pretty good. And when you decrease the temperature by 10 degrees, when you decrease the concentration by half to 1%, our rate went down dramatically, quite a bit more than we would expect actually, but our rate went down to 4.59. Now all you need to do is to produce a second graph that will display the effect of temperature, and to do that you're going to do exactly the same steps that we did over here, except that you're going to use A for time, of course, B, column B, your reference point at 25. Now you're going to use C and D. So to produce this graph, you're going to have to highlight these four columns here. I hope this helps you in analyzing your data. Thank you for watching.